This is the Transformers Generations Legacy United Voyager class Cybertron universe Starscream, and we've got an updated version of Starscream as how he appeared in the Unicron trilogy Cybertron. I picked up this figure from Robo. Let's get this bad boy out of the box.
It's only fair I do the same.
And here is the Legacy United Cybertron Universe Starscream out of the box. And you know what? I think they did a good job with this one. I did not want to believe it, but the design, the sculpt, and their take on the Cybertron character, turning him into a Generations figure, I think they did a good job. There is one big issue for me with this figure, and I'm sorry to say it, but it's got to do with plastic quality. We'll talk about that later in the video. Head to toe, the figure stands at about 17 centimeters tall, or about 6 3/4 inches tall. For some size comparisons, here he is with two other Voyager class Starscream figures. We've got the Reactivate Starscream, as well as the Earthrise. And here he is with another character from the show, Cybertron, or Galaxy Force. We've got the Galaxy Upgrade War for Cybertron Trilogy Siege Leader Class, Optimus Prime. On to the details of this figure. Let's begin with the obvious ones. He's got these weapons, a Energon blaster done in Energon Decepticon purple. Neat looking blaster. You can actually mount it on his forearms as well if you wanted to act like null rays. And the interesting thing here is he also comes with a cyber key, a planet cyber key, which you can put onto the weapon. And if you didn't already know, these cyber planet keys back in the old Cybertron toys were actually the ones that activated the gimmick. Here's an example of one, and you would plug this into the figure and would pop out or activate the spring-loaded weapons, and that was really such a cool thing. For this figure, they decided to do an homage, and Starscream in particular had a gimmick where you would put the cyber key in and out would pop the Energon blades. And in this case, you'd have to do it manually. No spring-loaded gimmick right here. Now you've seen the swords. They actually look pretty cool. Choo, choo, choo. These are actually come unassembled. You can take them off of his shoulders, and you will need to assemble them when you take these, take this figure out of the packaging. These pieces also have these small wings on hinges, which you can pose. He looked like he wouldn't be able to pose with these things on. But what Hasbro did is they put hinges on the shoulder pads so that the static position or the prone position would be like this. But if you wanted to articulate the arms and give it better range of motion, you could actually just pop out the shoulder panels. These are not part of the transformation. They just did that to allow you better posing for the figure, and I thought that was pretty good. I love that they did that, not part of the transformation, but they put some budget on hinges and all that. Let's just talk about articulation very quickly. The neck is on a ball joint. You got a waist swivel. There's hinges on the shoulders, allow you to move the arms in and out, forward and backward 360. You've got a bicep swivel, double hinged elbows. The wrists are on swivels. The hips are on hinges and swivels to allow you to do the splits. You can kick forward, backward, thigh swivel, hinge knees, more than 90 degrees because of transformation. The ankles allow you to move the feet up and down and have the rocker tilt. Colors came out great for this one. I thought they would be very dull. They would look cheap, but no. Glossy, pearlescent, gray plastic was used. I love the colors. I love the paint apps on this thing. Gold paint here and there, some red highlights, silver highlights here and there. I love the choice of colors for the dark indigo blue, the gray. I mean, color-wise, no complaint. Sculpt-wise, fantastic. Articulation, absolutely amazing. You do so much poses with this figure. I had a lot of fun posing him. Took him out of the packaging. He was a lot of fun to pose. But let's go to that one thing that I really hated about this figure, my pet peeve, and I know I make a big deal. I'm a stickler for this, and it is quality issue. Plastic quality issue in particular, and I'm sorry I have to do this. I don't want to get into trouble again, but The blue plastic and to a certain extent, the gray plastic. I mean, you don't need to be an engineer or an expert on plastics to know that they cut corners with this figure. They tried to spend as little as possible on the plastic because understandably, they put most of the budget on Silverbolt for this wave. This particular figure came in a pack of 3 Voyagers, 1 Starscream, 2 Silverbolts. Silverbolt was a solid figure, had premium plastic. Now we know where all the budget went. Sadly, very little budget was left for this guy, and I can assume that they put a lot of the budget on the engineering. Okay, whatever. They cut corners on the plastic quality, especially this blue plastic. It is dirt cheap. It feels as cheap as, if you remember my review on the Armada Starscream, why is it always Starscream that's the victim of these bad plastic quality choices for Hasbro? So it's as bad as the quality of Armada Universe Legacy Starscream, which just sucks. Gray plastic on the legs, torso, arms, fine. This bit right here, it's solid enough, but just looking at it, it's so hollow. They really saved a lot of money on this one. The clear, translucent purple plastic is pretty good. Plastic on the head seems to be okay. Torso, fins, okay. One last thing on quality, when I took this thing out, this thing was so loose, it popped right off. So be wary with that. I don't know what happened there. But yeah, that's how great quality for this figure is. So on mine, it popped off. Now on to the transformation. My other issue with this figure is the over-engineered transformation. It is a nightmare. The transformation is a big show. Really, I kid you not. Rotate that bicep. Open up this panel right here. Close up the fists. Close it back. Do the same on the other side. Rotate the bicep. Open up this panel on the forearm. Fold up the fist. Close that forearm. Rotate these pieces right here just so they're out of the way. The instructions tell you to pull this panel all the way down. Do not do that. It will snap off, okay? It happened to me. It will snap off. Luckily, it's not on a pin joint. It's on a friction joint, so that's great. Don't do that. Don't follow that as part of the instruction. So rotate the head and tuck it back in. Make sure you line up that tab right there so you can tab this panel back in. Here's the, I guess, the most difficult part of the transformation is untabbing this section right here. And I still cringe every time I do that. It is pegged on this really thin peg right here. And we all know how the plastic of these modern Transformers go. In time, give it a few years, 2-3 years, this thing is going to get brittle, especially if you display this thing and you leave it exposed to the elements. This thing's going to get brittle, and that thing will be the first thing to break. I kid you not. I'll show it again one more time. You snap it. You can hear how loud that snap is because that's how tight this thing is going to be. So when you first try to do it, it is going to be tight the first time you do it, but oh my goodness. You need to peg the forearms onto these pegs right here. There's a hole right there where you put the gun to act as a null ray. You tab it in. This thing loves to untab as you're transforming the figure. So yeah, you want to fold these fins and tab them together. You want to line up these panels right here. Same thing here on the shoulders. You want to line it up properly. You can do it this way, or you can follow the instructions by unpegging it first, then tabbing the forearms. But I feel it's easier to do it this way once you've solidified the forearms. Frustrating bit of the transformation are the legs. The heel spur, you want to fold it up, and then the blade on the toe blade, fold it out like that. Same on the other side, fold up the heel spur, the toe blade. Rotate the thighs outward, open up these panels right here, straighten out the feet to collapse the legs like this. What's going to happen is this teeny tiny peg right here at the base of the heel is going to tab onto his crotch. The knees are going to tab onto the elbows. There's some pegs right there on the elbows. You're going to tab those knees in. And if you can do it seamlessly, you're in good shape. But to me, it took me like 3-4 tries just to be able to do it seamlessly and properly. And absolutely annoying as you're tabbing everything in. It's such an unstable transformation, and it is not it really is not a lot of fun, to be honest. It is frustrating to do it because things pop out here and there. Then you can tab these panels right here. So essentially, that is the jet mode. There's a lot of hollow spaces. There's a lot of gaps here and there compared to the original. The original was a lot more solid. Look how many, just all the gappage here and there. Cyber Planet key will stay here where it is in robot mode. The gun, you have to invert it and you can tab it here underneath the tail fin. That's pretty cool too, but I think it's cooler. As the instructions say, there's a second way to do it. The instructions tell you to open up this panel, then you invert it again, and then you tab it onto these tabs right there. And then you close back this panel. I think it looks better this way. Not the greatest of alt modes, but definitely not bad. Transformation, horrible, but satisfying once you do it properly. Here he is with Cyclonus. Wow, Cyclonus looks so big compared to this guy. Both of them are Voyagers. You can see how the quality has changed. Look how solid this thing is. This is an absolute perfect figure for me. I love this mold, but I know they were trying to get the aesthetic right, but come on, Hasbro. We're way past this. I mean, this is just you being lazy. And so some final thoughts on this Legacy United Cybertron Universe Starscream. The robot mode is absolutely terrific. I love the sculpt. Articulation is fantastic. I love the gimmicks. I love the homage they put with the Cyber Planet key. Sculpt-wise, color-wise, they did a great job with that robot mode. Two big issues with this figure really bring it down for me. And one of them is plastic quality. That blue plastic, the shoulder joints, just horrible, horrible plastic quality. And the other issue is really the frustrating and overly engineered transformation. It should have been a simple transformation. I did not like it at all. It can be satisfying if you do it properly, but overall, I really did not have a good time transforming this figure. Those two main issues, plastic quality and over-engineered transformation or annoying transformation, I think merits this figure. 7.5 out of 10 is fair. If it weren't for the fantastic robot mode and okay alt mode, I would have given it a 5 out of 10. You're going to spend $35 on this thing, and in some parts of the world, maybe $62 because this thing is short packed in its wave. The prices on the secondary and tertiary markets just shot up for this figure. So between $35 and $65 before spending that kind of money, I want you guys to know what you're getting yourself into. And just being honest, this is at best a 7.5 or 8 out of 10 figure. It is, I think, overhyped. I think they could have done better with this figure, to be honest. Let me know what you guys think of this Transformers Legacy United Voyager class Cybertron Starscream. Hit that notification bell so you never miss out on any of my latest video reviews. And if it's your first time here, please subscribe. Thanks for watching.